Blessings! We, Biblical Awareness, want to welcome you. Yes, you who is watching now. For more updates, subscribe to this YouTube channel and of course, like, follow, and share our Facebook page. Sit back and relax as the message will begin in a few seconds. Good day, hello. We are at the last week of May, and moving into June. Well, let us not end this month without remembering another lady from the Bible that is so important, although she was not talked about too much by this moment. Unlike Mary of Bethany, this girl is not being talked too much. Okay, so now let's meet Dorcas, the generous Dorcas. Okay, here Dorcas is a disciple, a product of the evangelism done of the apostles, and probably she's a Gentile. Okay, we can read her, or we can read the passage about her, although it's just short, in Acts chapter 9, verse 36 to 42. If you have your Bibles and any versions, you have their cell phone or digital versions or even the printed versions. Join me as we read this passage. And then later we will go to the points that we will find out about Dorcas here. Okay, let's begin. So here, let's see, 9 verse 36. Now there was at Joppa a certain disciple named Tabitha, which by interpretation is called Dorcas. This woman was full of good works, amazing, and alms deeds which she did. Okay, so here Tabitha is also Dorcas, so don't be confused whether we name her one way or another. Okay, verse 37. And it came to pass in those days that she was sick. Of course, she's got a human body. She may be sick at some point. But the thing here is, and died. She died. Whom when they had washed, they laid her in an upper chamber, a perfect place to put a dead body for a while so that it will not smell foul, or the people may treat it for a few moments. Okay, 38. And for as much as Lydda was near to Joppa, Lydda is where Apostle Peter was, and the disciples had heard that Peter was there. They sent unto him 2 men, desiring him that he would not delay to come to them. Okay, then Peter arose and went with them. When he was come, they brought him into the upper chamber, and all the widows stood by him weeping, and showing the coats and garments which Dorcas made while she was with them. Okay, so Peter came in, and somewhat like he is going to do a service to Dorcas and the people with Dorcas. Okay, probably a prayer for healing, but since Dorcas is dead, it's more of like a prayer for Dorcas in so many ways. 9:39, 9:40. But Peter put them all forth, told them to go away for a while, go far, and kneel down and prayed. So you see here, even Peter knows that he can't do anything apart from God. So he prayed before he did the thing. And turning him to the body, he said, Tabitha, or Dorcas, arise. And she opened her eyes, and when he saw Peter, she sat up. And he gave her his hand and lifted her up, and when he had called the saints and widows, presented her alive. cool. And because of this, a dead lady coming back to life brought it to this end. And it was known throughout all Joppa, and many believed in the Lord. 9 verse 42. That ends the passage. Now we will go to the points which we can find on verse 36. Okay, if you will notice, I had few words on underlined and capitalized letters. Okay, so here, first word is disciple. There's something in this word that will tell us about Dorcas and her qualities, one of her qualities, which we need to probably take as a principle. A disciple is in Greek is matetes, which entails the definition of a do or die belief. So to simplify this, it is a bold declaration of faith that you are a believer of something, that even death cannot take you away from that belief. That is the word here. So what can we say about Tabitha or Dorcas? Tabitha has the faith, the saving faith. Okay, what proves it here, which is also in the passage? Let's see here. That he would not delay. So, Peter is known to give service to fellow disciples. That's the idea here. And these two men know that Tabitha is a disciple, so it means that Peter would not delay to go to Tabitha, because she was a disciple of the Lord, just like Apostle Peter. Okay, this is something like putting Tabitha on importance, particularly on this event that Tabitha died out of sickness. Okay, now we will see it here for the second one. Good works. Well, it seems to be like a single pair of words, but looking at the original words in Greek, these two can be separated to teach two different lessons. Good in Greek is agathos. So benefit, something like that. Good of all, something like on a similar sound of that one. Okay, so good is something that is more on the motive, not the action. So let's see. Aside from faith, Dorcas or Tabitha has the focus to do good for all that she will meet. How about us? Anyway, there will be questions later so that we can ponder about this lesson. Okay, good, agathos, benefit of all, selfless motive to do something. Anyway, it's easy to do good, especially right now. Social media age, you have your selfie, give in some money, have a selfie over there. That's great. But Tabitha or Dorcas has the pure intention to do good. Okay, so first is faith, second is focus. Now we will go to the third one, works. In Greek, it is ergon, an effort, an action. Okay, ergon, so you do something. So here it means Tabitha has the, if we will change action with a letter beginning with letter F, starting with letter F, or a word starting with letter F, from action it will be the force, the effort she did to help the people. Okay, so here now we will see the other proof. Here's the other proof on that verse in 9 verse 39, showing the coats and garments which Dorcas made. As I said earlier, or maybe some of you know, Dorcas could be a someone who makes clothing for royal people. The cloth should have been so expensive that you cannot even give a surplus to widows. But here, Dorcas made coats and garments and have given it to widows who doesn't have anyone to help them at all. Okay, that is how generous Dorcas is. So now we will go and continue this. Those were the three things we can find out about Dorcas. Now let's decipher this and find out in bulleted form what is it in Dorcas that we should have as a believer as well. True generosity. Again, as I said earlier, it is easy to be generous, especially when you have the camera in front of you. That is called philanthropy. But not all philanthropies are bad, because some of them are doing generous things out of good heart. But remember that there were some who did it out of personal fame or maybe other stuff, other reasons. True generosity comes in. This one is true, especially for a believer. Faith or saving belief, saving faith. In here, we will clarify that true salvation will result to real good works. It is not the other way around that you're going to do good to be saved. If you're saved, you're going to do good works. And one of it is generosity. Because God had given you, or particularly Tabitha, a free gift of salvation. We can expect her to give material things to others in almost free state. Something like that. And second is the focus. Tabitha is fixed, or Tabitha was fixed in giving help to the good of all, not to the good of herself. It is not about fame, but it is more of an actual selfless action. Okay, and of course, there is a superb effort. Well, if I would ask you, if you're in this COVID-19 scenario season, and maybe if Tabitha could still be alive, and let's say her skill is not on the clothing but on cooking, most probably she would have done something like she will cook with all the expenses on her pocket and had given it to the people around her. Something like that. Will we do the same? Well, it's a question we can answer by ourselves. Now, I will not end this with a one-liner, but I will end this with a reflective question. Let's ponder these questions. 1. Am I living a life of being a disciple? Is it being seen? Is it being seen? Well, let's answer it by ourselves. Okay. Because basically, the cardinal rule is this, particularly in evangelism. Within 5 minutes of talking to someone, you should be clearly seen as a Christian by the one you are talking to in different ways. Okay. Second, am I focused on the good of everyone as much as possible? Of course, we don't have all the capacities to have everyone in their good state, but as much as possible, as much as we can. Are we focused on giving the good of everyone? Well, that is a question for us to answer by ourselves. And lastly, am I doing efforts to show God's love to people by, well, that's one, generosity, material generosity, and there were so many ways. Now, with these questions asked, I pray that we learn from Dorcas in so many varied, reasonable methods and ways in our Christian life. Okay, so God bless everyone, and I would like to end this with a thank you for watching, and like, share, and follow our Facebook page, and of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel for more updates. By the way, don't forget to pray for our frontliners and our world in this COVID-19 season. Okay, again, God bless everyone, and may we be biblically aware of what God is saying every day of our lives. Thank you, and more blessings to everyone.